Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that we received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I am a man, and when you look at me, you won't see that I do have a lot of money. I just look like a normal man. That is why most of the women that I bring to my place for a sleepover, they end up falling in love with me because my wealth, it is not even that suspicious. I just look like a normal random guy that you would have met maybe on Tinder, on Facebook, or on any kind of dating app. And that is where I get most of the women that I use for my rituals. And I can't sleep with a woman and not give her money, because by giving her money, then it means that I'll be able to keep on making more money, for this is what the rituals will demand from me. And I did these rituals, it was in the year 2009, when I saw that poverty had gotten the best of me and I just wanted to do something with my own life. I was sick and tired of being a broke guy at all the times, and I chose to do the rituals. What I wanted was a snake, like a snake that I had seen at this other Sangoma's house. I saw it, it was vomiting money, and I was willing to sell my soul to the devil. And this is what I want to tell anyone that is going to be listening to my confession. Most of the traditional healers that you see helping people to do money rituals, they are of the devil. They serve the devil. And when you do money rituals, you are selling your soul to the devil. Your soul will never belong to you anymore. And anything that the devil will demand from you, you will have to do those rituals. And this I never knew when I did these money-making rituals. I came to South Africa a very long time ago. Poverty chased me out of my own country. I arrived in South Africa. I did not know anyone. I was wandering about in Johannesburg. That was when I met other guys that were from Zim. They saw the way that I was dating. Then they asked me where I was headed to. The only place that I knew was Soweto, even though I had never been there. And I told them that I was looking for a place that is called Soweto. And they said that there were police that were moving around. If I kept on moving around, I was going to get arrested. So what they did was that they said that they were going to take me to Kempton Park. There was this other man that had a car wash that was looking for someone who wanted a job. Those people, they were very helpful. They were also working close to that car wash where I started working. They went with me, they spoke with the man, and when he heard that I was from Zimbabwe, then that man then said it's fine. He was willing to hire me. I did not have any place to stay, so I ended up staying at that car wash. There were some broken vehicles that were there. I used to sleep in those old cars, and I did not even have a room. I was grateful. At least I had a job, I had some food, and I had a place to stay. So at that car wash, there came a lot of people that had money, especially Saturday and Sunday, when they wanted to relax and just to have a nice conversation with each other whilst we were busy washing their cars. So there was this other man that used to come at all the times, and they called him doctor. And I thought that he was a medical doctor. I did not know that in South Africa, if you are a Sangoma, you will also be called a doctor. So when they told me that this man, he was a Sangoma who assisted people, if you are sick and if you wanted money, that is why he was called a doctor. I was very interested in him because whenever he would come to the car wash, he always drove beautiful cars. One day, I then spoke with him when I was busy washing his car. I then told him that the money that I was earning, it was not a lot. It was just for me to buy some food and for me to be able to survive. And I wanted a piece job from him if it happened that he could offer me a piece job so that I can raise some money to send some money back home. He then told me that it was fine. He was going to see what he could do for me. And I did not know that he had 3 wives. So he then told me that since he had 3 wives, each and every weekend I was supposed to go and clean at his first wife's house. Then the second weekend, I would go to the second, the third to the third, and on the fourth week of the month, then I would go and clean where he was doing his rituals and when people wanted to consult with him. So this was what I used to do. So there was this other day, it was on a weekend, I had gone to clean the house where he did his consultations. Whilst I was there, that was when I saw a snake. This snake, it was moving around, and it was very interesting because it was moving so slowly, and I saw that its belly, it was so big. So I watched that snake from a distance, and then it started to vomit money. I had never seen something like that. It was very interesting to see a snake vomit money. Then it disappeared. I was no longer scared at that time. I wanted something that could help me to become rich, and me working for that Sangoma, it brought me close to seeing strange spiritual things that would happen at his house. So I was no longer scared. When he came to pick me up so that he can return me back to Kempton Park where I am staying, he then started speaking with me, and I told him that I had seen something like I had never seen in my entire life, for I had seen a snake that was vomiting money, and I wanted a snake like that. He laughed and he said that I did not want to have such a snake because it survives on blood and it can finish all of your relatives and it won't give you peace. He then told me that he only uses that snake with caution, only when his customers are not that many. Then he can just use that snake so that he can get some money, but he does not use it each and every day. I begged him and I told him that I wanted a snake. He then said, I am not going to make a decision to give you a snake right now, because once you do these things, there are other spiritual consequences, and those that you love, those that you cherish, can die because their blood will be needed. He then gave me some time to think about it. So on my next payday, I then reminded him and he said, okay, it's fine, you can come tomorrow. I then went to his house where he did the consultation, and I found out that his wife was there and he was waiting for me, and we did the rituals. So these rituals that I did is that whenever I bring a woman into my house, he gave me this other small bottle that has some oil inside. I have to rub the oil all over my body, and then I have to put that small bottle underneath my bed. And after I would have slept with a woman, there is a cloth that I use. This cloth, what I do with it is that I wipe the private part of that woman and wipe myself, and then I pretend as if I would have dropped it from on the floor from the bed by mistake, and then I wake up and I pretend as if I want to go and urinate. When I come back, then I kick that small soft cloth that I would have used to wipe my private and a private part underneath the bed for the rest of the night. And the next morning when I wake up, there will be 10k, and I take some money, 1,000 rands or 2,000 rands, and I give it to that woman that I would have slept with. Most of these women, I meet them on dating apps as well as on Facebook, and they will be so grateful seeing that, just spending a night with them. Then I give them 1,000 rands or 2,000 rands, and I take this money from the money that I would have found underneath the bed. I make sure that the next morning I wake so early so that I can be able to remove the money before the woman that I will be with will have woken up, and I prepare the money to give it to him. I do not bath. Ever since I did these rituals in 2009, sometimes I can even feel myself that I am smelling too bad. I have been doing this since 2009. I am not allowed to wear an underwear. I have been performing these rituals, and I bath only 3 times a year when it is during the raining season. When it is raining, I remove my clothes and I go outside, and I won't be wearing anything. Then I bath myself without using any soap. I have done this since 2009. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. That was the translation of the message that he sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. You were saying that once you do these rituals, you are now the child of the devil. You have sold your soul to the devil. Let us talk about this in the comment section. He's saying that it is easy to use women for rituals because women, they just love money. Then there is another message that I'm going to be sharing with you. In the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I've been living here in South Africa, but I do have a family that is back home and they do not want to see me. And I am looking for someone who wants to be my partner because I am tired, sick and tired of these rituals. I just want to die. But the problem is that even if I try to commit suicide, these things, they do not allow me to die because they live because I am living. If I find a partner whom I can hand over these things to, then they can allow me to die. I even tried to hang myself, but that rope that I wanted to use, it broke, and no one even believes this. Even if I tell you this story, you won't believe it. I got into the ceiling and then I tied a rope onto the wooden beam of the roof and then I jumped, but I ended up hurting myself and I had to crawl to where my phone was because I had broken my leg. How this rope broke, I don't even know. But I stayed in the hospital for 6 months and I was given a warning to never repeat what I had done. The first time I bought some poison, and when I returned back home after I had bought the red poison, I looked for it everywhere in the boot of my car. I looked literally everywhere for it, but I could not find it. And I did not know that it was because you cannot commit suicide once you have done these rituals, because those Tokoloshes of yours, they will keep you alive for as long as possible so that they can keep on drinking the blood of your relatives, so they won't allow you to die. And I am looking for someone that comes at least from a family where he or she has a lot of relatives, and you will be able to count up to 10 people that he or she can sacrifice. As for me, I wrote down the names of 18 of my relatives, those ones that I know very well. Those are the ones that I wrote. So some of my relatives, they went to a red garment church and they were told that I have a piece of paper and I wrote their names. So they've been doing a go back to sender, as well as to threaten me that if I return back home physically, they are going to kill me. They also did a ritual. If I will ever step again on my feet in the soil there in Zim, then I am going to die, because that is the go back to sender that they did. Once I cross over back into Zim, I am going to die. So I have been in South Africa for a very long time, and this is how I did my rituals. I had been dating a woman. So this woman, like, we had made a deal. We were going to start a spaza shop, in which we did. This girl, she was from Malawi that I had been dating. I removed him from her own husband because I had a better job. I owned a small company, and she saw the money that I was making, and then she dumped her husband, and then we started to stay together. I told her that there was some money that I had in my savings and we could use that money to start a spaza shop, and then she said it is fine. We then started our spaza shop. After we had started that shop, then we started making money, and she started dating another guy that was from Pakistan. They threatened me and they said that they were going to kill me, and I ran away from that location where I was staying, and I continued with my life, but I still had that anger in my heart, and I chose to become a ritualist. And then I went to Chiredzi. I had been to Chiredzi before when I went to take my driver's license, because that is the most easiest place to get your driver's license. So when I was there was this other man that was also a local. He told me that he wanted to go to see a traditional healer. This other woman, who deals with the marine spirit, so that he can have good luck when we would go to the testing station. He said that he did not want to fail because he suspected that his relatives, they might have done some rituals for him to fail so that he won't be able to get the driver's license. So I said, I am going with you. We then went to this other house where we met the traditional healer, and she helped us to do some rituals. We returned back and we went to the testing station. Both of us, we passed and we got our licenses. I returned back to South Africa. I then started working and I was driving some trucks. I then returned back to Chiredzi at that time after I had been heartbroken by that woman. I still had the phone numbers of that traditional healer. I returned back to Chiredzi. When I went there, the woman then told me that I was supposed to buy a red cloth. I did as I had been instructed to do, and she said, buy a plate as well. So I bought a plate which was white, and then she gave me a calabash, the one that you put powdered tobacco in there. She gave it to me and it had some beads. And then she said, on this piece of paper, when you have arrived home, I want you to write the names of all of those people that you want to use so that you can make money. I returned back to South Africa and then I wrote the names of my relatives, 18 of them. And one of my relatives died the very next morning. And I had a dream. I saw myself, I was cutting him up to pieces and I buried my relative. The healer then texted me and told me that I was not supposed to go to that funeral, otherwise I was going to be exposed. After the burial, that was when I saw a bag that was full of money in the room where I was sleeping. I contacted the healer, and then the healer then said, I want about 25%. Just look for a place where there is a river, but this river, it is supposed to be a flowing river, and you go and you give the river my money, and you say that this is the money that is supposed to go to Amadube. That is the name of that traditional healer. So I looked for a flowing river. I went there and I threw 25% of the money and I returned back home. I started to use the money as I saw fit. Until this day, I have been performing these rituals, but I am tired. I have been sacrificing my relatives for no reason at all, and I feel that mentally I am exhausted because I keep on punishing myself. I keep on telling myself that I am such an evil person who does these evil rituals. Therefore, I have come here. If you know anyone that is willing to accept these charms, who wants to be my partner, I can teach that person, whether it be a woman or a man, as long as you have at least 10 relatives that are related to you by blood that you know of, and these are supposed to be your blood relatives, not from your mother's side but from your father's side. If you know that you have 10 relatives, you can get in touch with Brother Nashim, for I have to die. I do not want to live anymore. I have enjoyed money, and I have seen that this money that you enjoy, it is not real money, because as I am staying here in South Africa, I am a millionaire, but I have no tangible asset. I employ no one. The work that I do, I used to employ a lot of people, but now I just stay at home, enjoy money, drink alcohol, sleep with whomever I want to sleep with, but still it brings me no joy at all, because I do not have a legacy that I am going to leave behind. When I die, then this money is going to expire, vanish into thin air. Therefore, I am looking for a partner that I can hand over these things to, just like what the traditional healer told me, that when it is time, just look for someone who is as foolish as you are. When the Sangoma said that I was foolish when I told her that I wanted this money, and she said, you are very foolish to desire such wealth, I now understand. Therefore, I am looking for someone who is as foolish as I was when I did these rituals. If there is such a person, please get in touch with Brother Nashi. I am willing to share with you the rituals and the items that I use for these rituals. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. He's saying that he has now realized that he was once a foolish man, and he has decided to give away, he said, the plate and that other calabash that he says that you put powdered tobacco inside, and the red garment, and he is willing to share it with anyone that has 10 blood relatives that they are willing to sacrifice in order for them to enjoy money. Strange things they do happen in this world. Let us talk about this in the comment section.